Alright guys, we got plenty to talk about. First of all, the game tonight, definitely a big one. Lakers and Golden State, always a big time matchup, not to mention in prime time. LeBron versus Steph Curry, that's been a decade-long rivalry at this point. Both teams vying for playoff positioning. The Lakers currently in the 3rd seed after Denver getting beat last night, and the game before that one. Shout out Russell Westbrook for that double overtime loss to Minnesota. Then for Golden State, currently in the 5th seed, trying to move up, and only 2 games separate both of them. But even apart from that, we got an update, or rather a precursor to an update on Maxi Kleber. We'll talk about that, the implications of that, talk a little bit more about why he might come back and why they actually would want him to come back, even though he's trying to recover from a broken foot. Talk about the problem, quote unquote, with Dalton Knecht, him not playing much, and if that should change going forward. And then finally for the Most Improved Player award, and why Austin Reeves is not in it, which JJ Redick is not too happy about. So we'll talk about that and break it all down here. But before we get too far into it, let's quickly go over our game day picks with Underdog Fantasy. And if you're a new sign up, you can pick Luka Doncic to have higher than 0.5 points later tonight. So yeah, take advantage of that free pick. But then for my picks, for pick number 1, I got Luka Doncic having higher than 22.5 points if you're not a new sign up, dropping that down from 28.5 all the way down to 22.5, making it a pretty safe pick. Then for pick number 2, I got Rui Hachimura having higher than 0.5 3-point shots, aka making 1 3-point shot, and I think he will be able to do that. Then for my 3rd and final pick, I got Steph Curry having higher than 4.5 assists, dropping that one down from 5.5 down to 4.5. So if you want to follow along with me, or make your own picks, then be sure to check out Underdog Fantasy, and don't forget to use code JSM to get your free pick, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make a deposit. But now getting back to our topic, or rather topics, and beginning with Maxi Kleber. If you have not heard yet, there will be an official update on him given by JJ Redick later today. And yes, it actually will happen. Per Jovan Buha, he said that Redick will talk about it, so I think we can believe that. And Redick will likely talk about if he'll make it back this season. You know, maybe not that far in depth, but something hinting at the optimistic outlook, if he's back on the court, if he's clear for contact and practicing with their team, or if he eventually will and hopefully sooner rather than later. Or then potentially a pessimistic outlook, that he's not recovering well, maybe they'll shut him down, or he's not close to a return. We'll find out more information and that will be relayed later today, so keep your ears and eyes peeled out for that one. But apart from that, and if Kleber will make it back or not this season, what's the actual incentive of him coming back to their team? Not only for their team itself, but then for him individually. And well, for Maxi Kleber, I think there's actually a lot of incentive. No, he might not be under a 1-year contract, is not trying to play for a new contract and therefore more money, not about that, but actual about retaining a spot in their team, not being traded later this season, or rather this offseason. What he's got to prove to make that not happen, and why he's got to actually get back on the court if he wants to stay with their team, which I imagine he does, and playing with Luka Doncic. I mean, after all, they have nothing to base this fit off of. He has yet to play a game for their team, so they really can't say if he's a good fit or a bad fit. Even though he's played with both Luka Doncic and Dorian Finney-Smith before, he's not played for their team and not with JJ Redick, so they really can't say for sure if he would be a good fit or a bad fit, and a good long-term piece of their team, or simply going into next season. And until that happens, or if that happens, he's got to get on the court to prove it. He's probably viewed more as a trade chip for their team this summer, rather than a long-term piece for them. And well, that right there is the incentive for Maxi Kleber, getting back on the court so he doesn't get traded, and obviously to be part of a playoff push too. If you're a player, you're obviously hyper competitive, you don't want to watch your team in the playoffs, you want to be on the court, especially for a team like the Lakers with a very thin front court, and definitely a rotation spot available for Maxi Kleber if he's healthy and can be effective on the court. So again, plenty of incentive for him in my opinion. And then for their team, obviously the incentive with the front court that I mentioned, they have a pretty thin front court, right now composed of Jackson Hayes at center, and that's pretty much it for a true center quote unquote. Also guys like Rui Hachimura, LeBron, Dorian Finney-Smith, and a few others here and there for a small ball lineup, but in regard to a more full-time 5, pretty much only Jackson Hayes, and that's kind of it. So Maxi Kleber could view that and say, hey, I could definitely get in that rotation, I could offer value and different value compared to Jackson Hayes actually being more of a 3-point shooter, more of a floor spacer on the court, more of a switchable defender and kind of a hybrid player, rather than simply a traditional big that can tend to get played off the court come playoff time. That's the incentive for Maxi Kleber and their team. Definitely a mutual benefit here, and one that they're probably both hoping to work out between them. Maxi Kleber to make it back, earn a spot in the rotation, and hopefully for their rotation next season too. And then for the Lakers, getting a better option in their front court, a more true 5 quote unquote, even though I wouldn't call him a true center exactly, but another option and a very valuable one that could help them in the playoffs. And well, for me personally, I would hold a spot for Maxi Kleber. No, not a guaranteed spot or one that he could not play himself out of if he's not fully healthy, but come playoff time and the versatility that's needed to win in the playoffs, especially in your front court, I think Maxi Kleber could help them. Even if it's in some matchups, I would hold a spot for him and hope that he can come back and make an impact within the rotation. But moving on here, another topic of debate and one that's been a pretty hot topic, and that does happen to be Dalton Knecht, or rather the lack thereof of Dalton Knecht. If you've watched him play lately, you've likely noticed a lack of Dalton Knecht, often playing about 4 to 5 minutes and only during the second quarter, then not appearing during the third quarter, fourth quarter, the entirety of the second half, and not playing that much in general. And well, that's not been a very popular thing among some fans. I personally get it, I don't love it, but it's kind of an odd situation. For JJ Redick, you kind of know that he wants to play Dalton Knecht. He really likes Dalton Knecht, has drawn up a ton of plays for him, and often still does draw up plays for him when he's on the court. But with him trying to trim down the rotation for the playoffs, Dalton Knecht's not really a necessity of it, does happen to be an average to below average defender, which might get targeted come playoff time. Then offensively, despite being very talented and a very good 3-point shooter, can tend to be a bit streaky, and simply doesn't get enough playing time to find that rhythm. So between all of that, I get it. I would love to get Dalton Knecht in there more, but I get what JJ Redick is trying to do, and kind of what he has had to do with Dalton Knecht. But then for our final topic, and this one definitely has got JJ Redick going, really is me going as well, talking about the current Most Improved Player award and the current voting for it. Right now it includes a collection of lottery picks, a former number 1 overall draft pick with Cade Cunningham, and no, not to say that they haven't shown improvement or have not gotten better this season, that's not the case, but it's really taken away from what the award used to be and what it used to stand for, which JJ Redick really put perfectly in my opinion, and here's what he had to say about it.
Is he?
I think like odds-wise, it's like 30.
I hate that award because they failed to define it, and I think the spirit of it has been taken out of whack. I don't like that award. Just call it the high draft pick that is on a max contract that now is an all-star. Just call it that award. Who's that guy? Because that's what it's become.
If you were making the case for Austin,
am I wrong?
But he wouldn't be that guy. Don McClain won it. Bobby Simmons won it.
No, I'm saying that's what it's become.
What? But we could. You could
No, I'm
speak
just
to
saying,
the voters right
Four
now.
in the last 5 years, that's what it's become.
Right.
I don't think that's the spirit of the award.
what would be the case for Austin, in your opinion?
He's not going to win it, so it's a moot point. I've sang his praises all year.
Again, it's really gotten away from what the award used to be. Guys that were non-rotation players and even undrafted players who then became rotation players and a big part of a team actually were the main candidates for the award, but that's no longer the case. But in my opinion, a guy like Austin Reeves should be on there and really should have been on there. Believe it or not, he has never been in the top 10, not even the top 10 for Most Improved Player award voting. And we're talking about a guy that went from averaging about 7 points per game in his rookie year up to 13 points per game, 13, 3, and 3, then to averaging about 16, 4, and 5, and now this season up to 24 and 6. So yeah, year by year improvement from a non-drafted, former non-rotation player that's now become a major rotation player and a big part of a team, and yet has never been up for the award even once, not even in the top 5 or top 10 voting at that, which in my opinion is pretty pathetic and really takes away from the award and its credibility. But with all of that being said, what do you guys think? How do you feel about Maxi Kleber, him potentially coming back to their team, about Dalton Knecht and him not being a part of the rotation or not a big part anymore, and then about Austin Reeves and him not being a part of the Most Improved Player award voting? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one, and if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night,